The sun was beginning to set over the tranquil beach, casting golden hues across the rolling waves. Families packed up their picnic baskets, surfers rode the last few waves of the day, and seagulls glided effortlessly above the shoreline. The warm evening breeze carried the sound of laughter, music, and the occasional crackling of a distant bonfire. But amid this perfect summer evening, something dark was unfolding. Before we dive deeper into this gripping and emotional story, let us know where you're watching from today. And if tales of courage, action, and standing up for what's right inspire you, don't forget to subscribe to Story Dash. Soon we'll share another story that will leave you speechless. Near the edge of the beach, close to a cluster of sunbeds, a young woman stood frozen in place, her arms wrapped around herself protectively. She was barely in her 20s, wearing a light sundress that swayed gently in the evening breeze. Across from her stood a tall, broad-shouldered man, his face twisted in anger, his voice sharp as it cut through the peaceful air. "I saw the way you looked at that guy," he spat, his face inches from hers. The girl, Emily, flinched, stepping back slightly, but the damp sand beneath her feet made it difficult to move. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Michael, please, you're overreacting." "Overreacting?" Michael scoffed, his hands clenching into fists. "I saw you smiling at him. Don't lie to me." A few beachgoers glanced their way but quickly looked away, hesitant to get involved. No one wanted to cause trouble. No one except one man. Not far away, sitting on a lounge chair, a massive figure had been observing the situation. He had seen Emily's stiff posture, the fear in her eyes. He had seen how Michael's movements were becoming more aggressive, how his voice was growing louder. And he had seen enough. Dwayne, "The Rock" Johnson, stood up, adjusting his sunglasses before walking toward them. His towering frame cast a long shadow over the sand. The moment he stepped closer, the energy shifted. "Is there a problem here?" Dwayne's deep, unmistakable voice cut through the tension like a knife. Michael turned sharply, his expression changing from anger to irritation. He looked Dwayne up and down, processing his sheer size. "This is none of your business," he snapped. "Stay out of it." Dwayne glanced at Emily. "That true? You don't need help?" Emily opened her mouth, but before she could speak, Michael scoffed. "She's fine. We're having a private conversation." Dwayne's jaw tightened. "Yeah, I don't think that's how this works, buddy." Michael straightened his posture, puffing out his chest. "You think just because you're big, you can step into people's lives and tell them what to do?" Dwayne tilted his head slightly, as if debating how much of his strength he needed to use. "I don't tell people what to do," Dwayne said, his voice dangerously calm. "But I do step in when I see a coward trying to intimidate someone smaller than him." A few people around them had started paying attention. Some pulled out their phones, recording. Michael noticed and let out a humorless chuckle. "Oh, I get it," he sneered. "You think you're a hero? You want to play tough guy in front of an audience?" Dwayne sighed, shaking his head. "Man, I don't need to play tough guy." He took a step closer. "I am a tough guy." Michael's smirk faltered slightly, but his ego wouldn't let him back down. He took a step closer, now chest to chest with Dwayne. "You don't scare me," Michael hissed. Dwayne's expression didn't change. "Then you're dumber than I thought." Michael's fist clenched, and before anyone could react, he swung, but he never connected. With reflexes honed from years of training, Dwayne effortlessly sidestepped the punch, grabbing Michael's wrist mid-swing. In one swift motion, he twisted Michael's arm behind his back, making him yelp in pain. "That was a mistake," Dwayne muttered, tightening his grip slightly. Michael struggled but was completely overpowered. "Let go, you freak," he hissed. Dwayne leaned down slightly, his voice dangerously low. "You like picking on people smaller than you? How's it feel to be the small one now?" Michael's face burned with humiliation. The beach crowd was watching, some even laughing. Dwayne released him with a small shove, making Michael stumble, Get out of here before I change my mind, Dwayne said. Michael looked around, realizing he had no allies. His jaw clenched, but he turned and stormed off without another word. The beach was silent for a beat before a quiet ripple of applause spread through the crowd. Dwayne turned to Emily. You okay? She nodded, still shaken. I didn't know what to do. Dwayne offered her a reassuring smile. You don't have to. You just need to be safe. The beach staff, noticing the commotion, came over to check on her. Dwayne gave them a nod before turning to leave. As he turned to walk away, a man from the crowd approached, shaking his head in disbelief. That was incredible, he said. Guys like that think they can do whatever they want, and no one will stop them. Dwayne shrugged, his signature smirk appearing for the first time. Bullies only win when no one stands up to them, he replied. And I don't like seeing people get pushed around. Emily hesitated for a moment before taking a step forward. Wait, she said, her voice a little stronger now. Thank you. Dwayne turned back, giving her an encouraging nod. You don't have to thank me, he said. Just promise me you won't let anyone treat you like that again. Emily took a deep breath and nodded. I won't. The atmosphere slowly returned to normal, but the moment had left a mark on everyone who had witnessed it. Some of the onlookers whispered amongst themselves, recounting the scene, while others watched Dwayne as he calmly returned to his spot on the beach. One young woman, holding her phone, looked down at the recording she had just captured and smiled. This is going viral, she murmured. As Dwayne sat back down, a little boy, no older than 7, ran up to him with wide eyes. Are you a real-life superhero? He asked excitedly. Dwayne chuckled, shaking his head. Nah, kid, he said with a wink. Just a guy who doesn't like bullies. The boy grinned, running back to his family, while Dwayne leaned back, watching the waves roll in. It had been just another day at the beach, but for Emily, and for everyone who had seen what happened, it was a moment they would never forget. What would you have done in this situation? Let us know in the comments below. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Story Dash for more unforgettable stories like this one. Because sometimes, standing up for what's right is the strongest thing you can do.